Okay, right. Okay, let's get back. We've done the asanas and stuff. We're coming to the last stage of the asana. Sorry about the technical glitch again. Right. So I usually do try and do this before I finish. And your mind is not focused now. And this headstand. You do the headstand, or you can do the shoulder stand. After that, we do yoga nidra. Okay. So, all right. Okay, now lie down. Shavasana. Last of the asanas, the yogic postures, is Shavasana. Lying down flat. All right. Hands by your side. And we'll do what's called yoga nidra with it. Okay, so lie down flat. We get some rest after doing all those exercises. Breathe in through your nose. Deep breath to the count of 4. Hold it to the count of 7. Breathe out to the count of 8. All the while your attention is near your heart. Okay. So Deepawali, Deepo ka Tyohar. Okay, so the lamp which we light outside in the darkest night of the year, amongst Christian Paksh, end of Christian Paksh, is symbolic of lighting the diya. There is a lamp within our body. 5 ribs down the sternal bone towards the left side of the center. There is a light center. Okay, so lighting this diya not only lightens you, like the external diya will light itself and dispel the darkness, but it also dispels the darkness around it. So it's not selfish. If you light the diya inside yourself, you do the same. The internal light, the love, when it's lighted, the diya gives compassion, gives empathy to you, your body, but your family, your neighbors, the society at large. So that is the real deep significance of actually lighting a diya. And boy, the world needs it now, yeah? We are on the verge of a nuclear war. And Deepawali probably has just come the right moment for humanity to save itself, lighting the diya inside, breaking the walls, the barriers, as I was saying, that we've created. The fear, the anger, the paranoia that's happening in the world today. So Deepawali in that way is really, really very symbolic and significant in terms of actually us as Hindus sharing our deep knowledge of understanding of the creation, the earth, and the human psychology that our rishis, who were the scientists of those times, made all these guidelines within our scriptures of Ved, Upanishad, Darshan, Gita, as to how to be part of what's called Vasudev Kutumbakam. That one world, the whole world is a family. Or as Swami Dayanand said, Vishwam Aryam, make the world a noble place. So breathe deeply. Watch where the air is coming from, which is the space. 99% of that is our body as well. 1% is electrons, protons, neutrons. Oxygenation. The selfishness of our nature has made us actually selfish in terms of breathing properly as well. We shy from breathing deeply as well, because the way we've created walls and fences around our house, we have done it to our body too. You can't escape. We are social beings. We are part of nature. You can't be independent. If you do that, your body closes a cell. Your cells are dissociated. And if they are not at ease, at rest, then you get disease. And the prime reason of so much of physical and mental diseases that is happening now. So breathe deeply. Watch as you get oxygenated entire body. As breathe out, take your attention towards the belly button. And as you breathe in, watch as from toe to the head, as the blood has flowed back. When you breathe out, you take out carbon dioxide and other toxic gases from your body. The failure of Western teaching system is that it gives you dot points but doesn't help you understand or link. And yoga is all about fusion of your knowledge of your body, mind, and soul. Carbon dioxide, for example, comes from burning of your sugar and fat and carbohydrates. You know in the school the atoms, but you don't know how to apply to the body. So you don't understand the concept of breathing because nobody taught you. The teachers teach students to focus, and the parents do also to their children, but they themselves don't know how to focus their mind. This is how joke a system is that we live today. There is no manual for utilization of your brain, the most complex CPU organ system in the entire, on the whole earth. Bigger than any computer, but there is no manual, but there is a manual to how to go to a toilet. So this is why what has happened to the state of humanity today, that it is on the verge of actually creating a nuclear war. So breathe again. Breathe deeply. Take your attention now towards the below the belly button, which is called Saman Shakti, Jataragni, where the metabolism happens to the body. And as you breathe out, watch how your digestive metabolic processes happen with the power of breath called Saman, and breathe again. That's reflected by the sun. As long as sun is there, this planetary system is there. As long as we have Jataragni going, we are alive. When you are cold, you are dead. Simple. So that Shakti, Roop, Rang, it produces this brightness to your body. There's another breath as well. Breathe again. These are called Pranayam Shakti. Fourth one is called Udan. It reflects our heart. Take your attention to the heart, the chambers, the blood, the 5 liters of blood that we pump through the body like a machine. So far, we only knew about the machinery system of this body, but now 10, 15 years, we are understanding that it's beyond the physical body. There is a mind that controls the functional capacity more than anything in this body. That's reflected by ocean itself, 70% water, body 70% water. It's a convection system, gives shitalta, cohesion of this body. The somas, the CSF, the pleura, the pericardium, the amnion. Without fluid, there is nothing. You can't survive. And again, that's reflected by component of breath called Udan. Okay, so concentrate on breath. It's very powerful. Breathe again. The fifth type of breath, Pranic Shakti, is called Udan Vyam. So that's reflective of the energy all around us. The structure of the body, 205 bones, tendon, muscles, the electrical, biological, chemical that I was talking about earlier. Balance of this thing keeps us going. And if you understand this machine or the car, which is nicely serviced and has a wiper which is working and there is no vision is not blurry, you can drive it quite nicely. But if it's all covered with dirt and mud and you filled up with all rubbish, there is no hope, because this is the vehicle, this is the means of achieving greatness, or you're using your CPU, your brain, neurons for greater things, because you are a human, you have a freedom. Otherwise, you should be an animal. If you don't use your brain, then you're an animal, because they don't have the freedom. Breathe again. So then there are other pranas called Na, Kurma, Karikal, Devda, Dhananjay. They are again reflective, functional, and physiological work that the body is doing inside us, like the birth process. Your peristalsis is full movement, your eyelid movement, etc., etc. Breathe again. Deep breath. Now take your attention inside your mouth. The second subconscious parasympathetic activity by which we live is by eating and drinking. So your 3 kg weight becomes 80, 100 kg, whatever you are now is only because of food and drinks. So be very careful what we put in this body. That's what we become in terms of this body. Very simple formula. Don't have to be very complicated rocket scientist to understand what is happening. Yeah, the deeper part I'll explain what happens inside, but otherwise you can understand that quite in simple maths. Your control is only bringing the food, and you go even given the intellect or vivek, it's called discriminatory power as to what you should put in your mouth, because you don't want to make your body a refrigerated side of 6, 8, 10 months old thing that you put inside your body, or on the other hand, a cremation center to put dead animals. Be careful. Digestion starts in your mouth. Don't overwash or use antibiotics to your mouth, because they are normal bacteria living in it. Because it all starts there. A lot of other functional heart rate, blood pressure control starts from your mouth. So don't gulp food, because it's required to be chewed properly. And as it goes down your esophagus into your stomach, the acid-base balance, which has to be maintained by proper breathing exercises, and type of food that you put in doesn't hyperstimulate acidity, because your intestine has more than our cells, more bacteria, about 40 trillion bacteria in our body, which is shocking and not we didn't understand as medical professionals. The scientific explanation was there to clean your body, take out all the bacteria, wash yourself, make yourself as clean as possible again. That is like creating a wall, a barrier to yourself. But you can't hide anywhere. You are part of this creation, and the biggest is that we live with this bacteria, and these bacteria are required for your functional action of this body. Unfortunately, the food that these bacteria grow on are only vegetables. Okay, that's their food. The green vegetables, legumes, nuts, fruits, the rainbow colors, the rainbow outside that the sun gives you through when it rains or drizzles. The nature gives you this rainbow colored food. They have meanings. Take all different colors of food, different seasons are for different types of food, and they help grow your bacteria, and they have a direct impact, because your gut is controlling 70% of your immune system. It's lined by a thin layer of mucous membrane, and you need to protect it. Because if you take soda, if you take alcohol, if you take acid food, meat-based food, refined food, you're destroying the good bacteria, which is creating an imbalance of signals that pass through your stomach and intestinal lining. And your genes are amplified in a wrong manner. The wrong genes are being amplified, because this is what's called epigenetics. The factors surrounding the genes have direct influence what type of, how the body functions. You push it into a survival mode, it starts to protect itself and produces all the wrong hormones and chemical mediators. So you get physical illness. Autoimmune diseases are everywhere nowadays. Chronic diseases because immune system is in out of tune. Acute inflammation is good. Chronic inflammation is bad. Causes heart disease, causes Alzheimer's, causes Parkinson's disease, all these diseases of the brain. And more than that, the mental dysfunction because your intestine within microsecond is telling your brain through what's called enteric neural system, through vagus nerve. So in your mind, your status, all this anxiety, depression, and lots of psychiatric illnesses are directly associated because your serotonin, dopamine, more than half are produced within the intestines. And it's a huge, important leap in understanding of our body in recent years by medical profession. It's not in the books yet, but it was in our books, Ayurveda, Vedic teaching, in our darshans, in our Upanishad, in Ved, in Gita, teaches us tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic status of satsang, company, and the food and the behavior and its relationship with the cellular function of the body to breathe again. Take your attention to the sides of your tummy. There is a bean-shaped structure called kidney that also functions at a subconscious level. We are living beings run by our pre-programmed subconscious activity, which is done through third trimester of pregnancy to about 25 years of our life. Because of the destruction of the traditional proper way of living, the Gurukul system doesn't exist anymore when a child was put in a right place. And by the 14 years, they grew up into a man of vision and life. Is not there. The pseudo culture, the media, today's world is now create a program of children which have no idea of understanding, and what we live is what is stored in our brain from the early days because it's our capacity to learn is very high because the brain waves are slow. When you are younger, they are delta and theta, they come into alpha, and by the time we have grown up, it's beta, and now we live with something which is pre-programmed, and because our body can't focus, mind can't focus, we can't change even. Because in some ways, brain is actually quite lazy, doesn't want to use more energy of our body. So whatever is pre-programmed by young days, it actually makes you live. So every morning you wake up, 90% of your thought processes are pre-programmed, and all that you are doing is expressing whatever is there because that's easy to do. And furthermore, there are chemical mediators that are associated with that kind of habit that we have developed over the last 30 years of our life. So you can't change. But if you are determined and if you are persistent, you just need more energy than what is already stored to actually climb over that and change. Requires focus, determination, extra energy to push yourself beyond what you are pre-programmed through the exposure of no fault of yours. It's a society that has left us in this position. Then you can realign and become aware of yourself, because being aware of yourself is what means you are conscious. Otherwise, you are subconsciously running your body without realizing even. So kidneys, subconscious as well, excretes all these poisons and toxins of the body without rest. And that's why it's so important to be conscious and mindful of the activities that is happening within our body, that we have to be conscious about these things. So your functional capacity of this body is better because when you are mindful, then it works better. If you dissociate, then nobody cares. Even as we as humans, if we don't have a relationship with people around us, they will give up on you, and the cells give up on us as well, similar way. So it's important to understand now. Take your attention to the fingertips, to the wrist, to your elbow, right to the shoulder, back of your neck. Go down your spine to the back of your knee, to the heel, to the sole of your feet. Come up in front of your leg, knee, thighs, and to the pelvic region on the left side is what's called Ida, the neural plexus, energy centers in subtle form that runs this body from tailbone right to the top of your head. And the right side is called Pingla. It's a positioning of sun, moon, the circadian rhythm. Basically makes the physiology work. Your limbic system, when you're conscious, your frontal part of your brain runs 40% of activities of this brain. But most of the time, because we are subconscious, we don't know what's happening. We just follow without realizing that we are already programmed from very early days. We are not conscious about it. So the circadian rhythm, this limbic system, the thalamus, hypothalamus secrete hormones daily because as the Earth spins around Sun and Sun spins around in our universe as part of multiverse, and our universe actually spins in the cosmos. There's nothing is static; everything is moving. So you have to wake up on time before sunrise so that your hormone secretions, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, your thyroid gland, your thymus, your bone marrow, mada, maja, asti, these functional capacities I will explain here. Hundreds and billions of spare cells in your body, which if there is damage to your cells, it can repair, but if you don't know how to stimulate them, they're just sitting there. So medical profession, we do as much as, we harvest stem cells, we say. We try and replace them in certain diseases. This is another way of doing it, but it's not as efficient and effective because if you are able to do it within your body, there is no side effect, there is no major immune suppression required and things. You actually produce these things, which is your pharmacy within your body that needs to be activated. On the contrary, if you take synthetic things and keep depending on external stuff, it gets closed. So think. Knowledge is awareness. Awareness is consciousness. And if you get consciousness, you become powerful because you're living the moment, not worrying about tomorrow or nothing, or living what's yesterday's thoughts. So that's why it's important to us to understand and knowledge. Then your adrenal glands are resting. You move from fight, fight, flight response, which is suffocating because nobody can survive a continuous level of stress. Little bit of stress is very good because it gives us direction in the body and production of an achievement or whatever we do want. Because if that's not there, you won't do anything. You'll be lazy as well, completely tamasic. But the Rajasic state is good, but it actually needs to be balanced because if you are 16 of your 24 hours, you are in this state, you are destroying your body. So take your attention to your antennas to the body, to ears, to eyes, to nostrils, and your tongue. They're the antennas, they're the senses. You'd be surprised that we only utilize only 10% of their capacity of what they can achieve. Because the remaining component can only be achieved by inner self. So unless you have intuitive power and dig into Roop, Rang, Roshni, that component, the subtle nature of this body, then you can't utilize the senses properly as well. So the Creator gave us all these animals and plants. Look at them, learn what this human body can achieve. That's why human body is special. You have a choice. But we have pets, but we don't understand what they're teaching us. We have plants around us, we don't know what they teach. I mean, seriously, a lot of people even don't understand the whole photosynthesis business of how plants acquire all this energy. It's better to eat them rather than the second, animals which eat them and then you eat them. What's the point? So the thing is, knowledge is very important. So that's all I'm sharing. The choice is yours because even God made humans free, gave them freedom to make choices. So parent or friends or doctors, nobody has any control on anyone. Because if God made you free, But we can only, as responsible humans, share the knowledge, and so that's what I'm doing. Think about it, yeah. So once these antennas work well, then you're expressive, calm in the ears, malmut, heart, pair, bath, connective shakti. So all these then changes as well, because when these antennas are working well, then your mind is filled with proper inputs. Because brain is the organ, mind is the expressive impact. And if your mind is filled up with जैसा खाना वैसा मन हो जाता है, जैसा सत्संग वैसा भाव. Yeah, so whatever is company is how that's how you express whatever you eat what your mind starts doing. So that is why it's important. Not for some dogmatic reason or somebody you have to be fearful or some you have to please someone. No. It's all heaven and hell is inside you. You decide what you do to this body is all that is actually the pathway of finding the ultimate happiness. This is all inside us. So think about it. So these antennas are our links. Okay, so take your attention right to the tailbone. So for physical body, your subtle body, sukshma sharira, so your expression through deeper senses, because your eyes are only all organs which receive photons or light. It doesn't see. What sees is beyond your back of your head. All your senses are like that. So there's a suksham component, subtle component in the brain. And that's what needs to be activated. You have to link yourself to that to achieve the greatness of what this body can do. So follow the track along your spine from the tailbone, Ida left side, right side, Pingla in the middle is called Sushumna. And what we talked about earlier, the energy centers, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipur, then Anahat, Vishuddhi, and Nashikagara, Tirikudi Adna, and right top of your head. You are a electromagnetic force. And what the best science at the moment, and which is most proven today by physicists, is called quantum field, quantum mechanics. No more Newtonian way of actually understanding that matter is the reason for everything. No, that's past now. This is science now I'm talking. This is no, not only Hindu religion, which was teaching for yonks. This is science now. The energy that is there is that component, and why all things talk about metacognition and meta word is being utilized is because of this reason to understand the capacity of this body as an energy force which is linked to this creation and beyond where this dark energy, what they describe as the major component of the creation itself. There's a direct link through different astronomical positions of planetary systems, and they are reflected through our body. So, whole advancement of humanity is rapidly increasing. We are fortunate we had the Vedic Hindu religion. All this knowledge was always there by our rishis who were the scientists of those times. And a person like Swami Dayanand, we are very lucky he brought back the knowledge in not so far away in terms of Earth's life. So apply. We are already practicing, but we are not knowledgeable of the more deep meaning to it. Okay, so travel through it. Okay, see yourself. If you move yourself out of this body, go up to the ceiling, see this body as a car or a vehicle. Your responsibility to keep it healthy so that your driver, you, are safe. Your energy, Atma, which is a finite consciousness, limited, Alpa it's called. It's dependent on this body, and the justice system of the creator is to give this body so that the whole creation is in balance. So whatever you've done, credits and debits, has to be expressed through this lifetime. So you are in this body, but you have a choice as a human because obviously you've done enough to reach this state. So you want to be extended or you want to be advanced or exceptional is your choice because you have the freedom. Or you can go reverse as well and be worse than other creatures that are there. Unfortunately, they are limited in their capacity. But if you make the choice, then your direction will be that way as well. It's a freedom for us. So So go up, beyond. If you go to International Space Station, it said the Earth is spinning around 2,200 kilometers per second. There's nothing stagnant, as I say. The position of moon, about 384 kilometers, or the sun, 153 million kilometers. All in a very, very scientific manner, everything happening. Or the Milky Way, with 100 billion stars and galaxies. We are not alone. Actually, if anything, we are insignificant. So why this wall? Why this barrier? What are you creating yourself, you humans? You end up going to have a nuclear war. What? Destroy this planet for your pride and ego and your differences? What? And you are a piece of dust particle in relation to this universe. Forget about the multiverse that is there. And beyond that, nobody really significant. But we are lost in this because we don't understand ourselves. Because knowing yourself and looking after your body deeply, then you will develop the positive attributes in yourself. Otherwise, if you live on this negative media, negative thought processes that goes on, your whole thinking process is all selfishness, which lives in your survival mode, and the creativity is not there. And you are not only bringing physical and mental illness to yourself, but you are going to destroy where we live as well, this earth. It's a huge, huge implication of our behavior. So think about this. So that beyond where there is no time and space, there is matter is not existent, but it's all particles are in, or matter is into form of waves, mass into energy. There's frequencies and vibrations. Knowing how to tap into this, what's called the Sadhya Rig Ved describes it, and now Hubble telescope and the James Webb, these huge telescopes that they are now showing that beyond this, what is called dark energy, there's nothing there. There's no shape form. It's only energy, and that is what we are. So improve your antennas, deep into it, and life becomes much, much easier, beautiful, joyful, blissful, full of happiness. You get health, wisdom, success, and bliss in the end. Breathe deeply and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So Deepavali, as we celebrate Deepavali, this is the teaching of it. And the create, all our festivals, Hindu festivals, the majestic nature of it, the pompous nature of it, was all there to give you positivity. Feel this positivity, because if you are positive, then you can even pray better. If you are constipated and unhappy, how can you pray? No. Try being happy and angry at the same time. Can never happen. You have the choice. If you want to choose the wrong attributes, you are responsible for destruction of your health and mental status. Nobody else. It's your body. So it's a huge responsibility to be a human. My dog Maya has not so much responsibility because she is now bound by the rules and regulations of how she's born with the instinctive behavior, and they live by that. But what we do, we are making them into distorted humans by feeding them improper things as well. They have their natural inclinations of what they do. And still, if I take her, she'll make sure if she's eaten wrong, she will eat grass and things to detoxify herself. They know that. What we do, we consciously destroy our body by pushing all these wrong things in us, and we even don't have the knowledge of how to detoxify. Okay, so join every Sunday. Help yourself, activate your body, physical body, mental status, and beyond that, understand the creation. And that is why you were born as a human, not to be stuck to create walls and barriers in your life. So light the diya, light the lamp inside you. Bring positivity, remove the evil, the darkness of what is actually covering our buddhi or mind. Be expressive, be compassionate, be sharing. Stop this man-made rules of fearful of this is the best, that is the best. If you don't follow this, all others are should be destroyed. Stop this rubbish of being a human. Okay, you are only destroying yourself, nobody else. Every time you get angry, you are only hurting your genes in terms of expressing bad chemicals in your body and you're destroying. That person will move on, whoever you are shouting at. They will move on. They save themselves. But you can't save yourself because all those moments of fear, anger, the jealousy that you express, talking ill about people, all is damaging you inside. Okay, so how do we refine these positions in our head, in our brain, in our pituitary gland, so that we produce the right hormones? The environment is outside and inside. So I talked about eating your company. Now, inside is environment as well. The cells are surrounded by nerve conduction system that gives them impulses as to produce what types of chemicals. That's how your status, emotional status, has this feeling. And you all know you don't have to. I tell you, fall in love. Everything is beautiful. You are the most happy person. What has happened? Because your cells are producing all these good hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, and nice hormones. You're feeling very positive. Everything is good in the world. So, similar way, if you do the wrong thing, that also has an implication in the negative manner. And unfortunately, that's what we live by these days because of the media, because of the culture, because of what we are fed daily by news media. So how do we balance, bring hemostasis or synchronicity or serendipity within us, and we are not living by randomness and accidents, okay? But by complete proper coincidence and hemostasis. So one is to learn to be still in life, because the more you are still physically, the more you are likely to be still mentally. There's 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. These are called beta waves. That's why we can't change. The program system actually has, with chemical addictions and what we call personality, we describe it as personality. The personal traits, which is personality, are only developed by your exposure in your life for past 20 years or whatever we expose. It's you're not born with it. So there's a hope. So Deepawali teaches or gives you this hope, the lamp of hope, the light of hope. Or in scientific sense, this is epigenetics of hope. We are not genes. Genes are less than 2% of whatever we really end up causing diseases. Most is epigenetics. Okay, so balance breathing exercises. This is called pranayam. So breathe. So first one is Bhastika pranayam. So deep breathing. Okay, so not hard to understand. No rocket science. Deep breathing, you get more oxygen. you are increasing the depth of your breath, taking out the dead air, space. There's a lung, 500 meters of air just sits your opex. Using your muscles, you're exercising as well. Okay, called Bhastika. Now, we'll do what's called Agnisar. So breathe in deeply, breathe out all the air, hold the breath, and push your belly button out and in. Out and breathe in, out. In, out. Okay, next one is called Ujjayi pranayam. So Ujjayi, chest, immune system. Yeah, just breathe in through your throat. Breathe in. The variation of it with more compression. So chin on your chest, breathe in. When you're breathing out, lift your neck, close your right nostril, breathe out to the left nostril. Yeah? Okay, so that's Ujjayi pranayam. Now we'll do what's called Kapalbhati. So Kapalbhati is a very inclusive exhalation type of exercise in which you breathe out. Okay, so you press your belly button in and the breath comes out, causes a vacuum. So without being conscious, but the air inspiration happens. Okay, so you concentrate on breathing out. Let's do it as long as you can or whatever time we can do. So you can just sit straight on the wall or chair, anywhere you want, as long as the spine is erect. Okay. Once you get into rhythm, actually, the more peace that you get, because you get into yourself. What breathing does is breathing is the only mechanism that actually helps you bring down your brain waves. Yeah, so that's why we have monkey mind. 70, 80,000 thoughts comes in, but breath is the only mechanism in which it brings it down. And how it does, it actually brings your brain waves down to alpha waves, so you get relaxation. So most people understand meditation only as that aspect, which is very good, because you get relaxation. You feel your cortisol levels, your adrenal glands and other functional capacity is getting better. But yoga and meditation is not that. It's actually beyond that. It actually takes you down into theta waves and then eventually into delta component. And the sparks or the transcendence happens when you actually hit the gamma. And these are now, by imaging, MRI, and other things, thousands of people have been studied when they reach this transcendence state of deep spirituality. Uh, so with evidence now, when we're talking through yoga, darshan, and Ved and Gita, people didn't understand. So no, because we are so much regulated by Western science and what they said, that's the only thing we believe. And that's, my friends are like that. Why they always will say, why express gratitude? The Creator is given. Why you thank? No, it's not about thanking someone who are you scared of making happy. No, it's actually about your body. But that learning behavior comes in by respect, being humble, being soft, being compassion. Then we learn to show gratitude, and gratitude is the biggest type of actually positive energy influence for your body functions. So that's where it comes from. So so you can grow, and now science with evidence shows this is what is happening. So it's directly relating at the cosmic level. The research that's showing the planetary system and the creation is going more and more towards what's in the Vedas. And our body systems, which we described, and the way of managing them through our Ayurvedic system, is all that is now being verified by different many studies that are coming by eating habits, by the ways we eat, the way we sit, the mind status, and what we put in ourselves. So it's a good time, a very good time to, especially when you follow these customs and religious practices, intermittent fasting, for example, from here. All right, so now Kapalbhati will do what's called Vaikumba. So it's a deep breath in. So it's called Abhyantara Briti. Take out breath, it's called Vai Briti. When you hold it, it's called Kumbha. The Kumbha even gives even further focus and exclusion of all other disturbance of your mind. So oneness and wholeness. And oneness and wholeness is the only way to tap into the quantum field. Yeah? O infinite consciousness, O God particle. Oh, Paramatma. Atma into Paramatma. Okay.
Mm.
Breathing in. Breathe out. Hold. Hold the breath. मूल बंद जलंधर बंद उड़ान बंद. When you can't hold, breathe in slowly. Watch it as the breath goes down from Muladhara to Sahasrara. This is the internal showering. As you do external to the body, this is internal. Yes. Okay. So all your energy systems, only basically pushing energy from a lower level survival into a creative level, from fear, anger, jealousy, all this behavior into joyfulness, compassion, empathy, fulfillment. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Hold it. Breathe in, out. Hold. One more time. Now you want to know below. Breathe into the left nostril, out to the right, in to the right, out to the left, in to the left, out to the right, in to the right, out to the left, into the left, out to the right, into the right, out to the left, into the left, out to the right, into the right, out to the left. Now we change Anulom breathing into what's called Nadi Shrodhan. So breathe into the left very quietly, no noise, to the count of 4. Hold it to count of 7 and out to the right to count of 8. And you can just count by saying Om. Yeah? In to 4, hold to 7, out to left count 8, into the left, out to the right, into the right. Concentrate on the left, towards the left side of your chest. There is a size of the thumb. There is a Deepavali lamp which pushes out all the darkness into the left, out to the right, into the right, out to the left, into the left, out to the right, into the right. Okay, because we are energy frequencies sometimes, because when you become so deep into connection with yourself, you might be able to see different colors of light, because the energy itself expresses in different colors of light: four red, six orange, 10 yellow, 12 green, 16 blue, two indigo, and thousands of this white golden light. That's nothing special. It's just this is a form of energy that even validates this basis of electromagnetic frequencies that are there. It can actually express different colors. We don't get excited about it or anything. It's just a passing thing. Just keep concentrating on what you are doing. Now, if you're in this state which we are, it's a beautiful state of relaxation. So obviously there's the alpha state that we are in now. And you want to go into theta and be more in direct communication with your inner self, intuitive power, then we go through what's called dharana dhyan. Then it takes into the level of delta state, which is complete samadhi, blissfulness feeling. Well, so if we are in alpha, then it only starts. But in the alpha stage, you have to persist. You have to keep going. And so this is something in the last 25, 30 years I've found out by researching, studying, practicing, listening to learned people in this field. Um, and I'm just sharing with you what helps me, and hopefully it can help you. So breathe in, X-rays on. Now, so Uma is, okay, so your loud Pachit, when you passing goes and in the same way it becomes quiet, completely merging with the energy vibrations of the creation 432 hertz, which is the wavelength of the sound that is within the universe. That's why you utilize oh. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ये परमपिता परमात्मा आपके बिंदु के निर्वृत्ति के लिए और आपके पूर्ण आनंद की प्राप्ति के लिए अपनी पूर्ण शक्ति से आपकी शरण में आए। आप कृपया करके हमें संपूर्ण दुखों को दूर करके हमें पूर्ण आनंद की प्राप्ति कराई, और आपकी कृपा हमारे ऊपर सदा बनी रहे। गिव ऑफ लाइफ, गिव ऑफ कंसर्न, bestow of happiness, create of the God. Most luminous, we meditate on the please inspire, guide, and intellect in the right direction. Om Pratihara, the stage of detachment and realizing the true self. So tell us, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not the five primordial elements that makes you, and the five subtle elements that constitute you, or the five senses, or the 10 senses, or the mind, or the memory, or the ego, or the intelligence. But I'm the divine, I'm the soul, I'm the prana, I'm the life, and I'm part and part of the entire creation. मैं शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ, मैं चेतन स्वरूप हूँ। The body keeps changing, mind keeps changing, I never change. I'm the divine, I'm the prana, I'm the life force. मैं पांच तन्मात्राएं, पांच माउंट, 10 इंद्रिय, चित्त, मन, अहंकार, बुद्धि कुछ नहीं, बल्कि मैं शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ, चेतन से। Interoception, detachment, that state of being yourself, truly within yourself, stimulating this intuitive power where the left side of the information you become conscious by the internet router to your right side of the brain. Otherwise, it's all disconnected. No matter how good a computer is, if it's not connected to internet, what is the use? Again, if I limited use, that's yeah, that's okay. But it's a real potential is when it's got that internet. So that intuitive power, your connection to the quantum field, the unified field of energy, infinite consciousness, Paramatma, the more particle. Maintaining this for hours leads you in towards a theta wave where you become, you are connecting to your true self. And there lies the connection of how to tap into the abundance of health, wealth, wisdom, and bliss. How do you maintain it? At least I find if I mind keeps running around, although no matter how much in control we are now, in moment, in few minutes, it will start get back to the same addictive state that is in. So soon you free yourself from that passage, I at least utilize that. I cover myself with the qualities of the most pure form of whatever is in the universe, which is qualities of the creation, the creator, that energy. का पहला अर्थ है सर्वव्यापक सर्वशक्तिमान सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप निराकार सर्वशक्तिमान जन्मानंद मर निर्विकार नित्य पवित्र सृष्टि करते उसी किसके प्राप्त उपासना करने योग है आकाश वायु जल पृथ्वी हर काल हर समय हर जगह 33 कोटि 24 गुण या 5 गुण हर मोड़ हर समय हर जगह हर स्थान पर उपस्थित बनाने वाला चलाने वाला आप अनंत काल से उपकार अपने आशीर्वादों की वर्षा करते प्राणीवाद की संपूर्ण कामनाओं को आप ही पूर्ण करते हमारे लिए जो कुछ शुभ तथा हित उसे आप बिना मांगे ईश्वर हमारी झोली में डालते जाते हो आपके आंचल में विचलित शांति आनंद प्रवास है कि चरण चरण की शीतल छाया में प्रभु शाश्वत सुख की उपलब्धिता सब अविरक्षित पदार्थों की प्राप्त हमें सच्ची श्रद्धा तथा विश्वास और स्थिति प्रार्थना उपासना करें कमल की फूल की तरह है ये जीवन में जीते हुए भी इससे अलग रहना सीखें The creator, organizer, protector, omniscient, omniscient, omnipotent, almighty. From eternity, the keep showering your blessing, all desires of living is always speaking by whatever is good and beneficial. You provided us without asking. Provide our wisdom, happiness, peace and contentment, love and affection, dispel our feelings, weakness and love. So we always remember to sit and submit ourselves in the arms of the divine. Maybe we be like the lotus flower, living this material world, but be not attached to it and utilize this abundance of wealth for positive contribution to the society. Remove narrow-minded selfishness, attraction, lust, anger, jealousy, hatred, violence, inbuilt negativity of our life. का दूसरा सर्वरक्षक आदि दैविक आदि भौतिक अध्यात्म पृथ्वी वनस्पति देवलोक स्थूल शरीर सूक्ष्म कारण शरीर this gross body, this astral projection or the subtle, the causal body. जाके रखो साइए मार्स पे ना कोई बाल लंबा करता है you're the shield, you're the avenger, you're the protector. No accidents or randomness would happen, but there's total synchronicity or serendipity or coincidence or magnetism, fulfillment of all. Where we acquire all virtuous qualities of life, forgiveness, simplicity, stability, fearlessness, humbleness, may our body be healthy, be strong, mind, pure, and enlightened, soul divine, and secure. Your blessings may all our senses be enlightened, my heart of compassion and sympathy, wants to be vital and thoughtful of our children. A vision of love for entire creation, may complete education and wisdom. The existence of the poorest of the poor, my life will be devoted and dedicated to the graces with His grace and blessing. सात्विक स्थिति राज, तामसिक राज सात्विक, क्षमा सर्वत्र स्थित निर्मित काश शून्य समच्चित हमारे संपत्ति में शरीर स्वस्थता पर मन सूक्ष्म तथा उन्नत आत्मा पवित्र सिद्धांत सारी सत्य में दया तथा सहानुभूति और वाणी मिठास में विष्णु प्यार विद्या का ज्ञान से परिपूर्ण महान तथा यदि नाथ दिनों के मध्य में विचरने वाली शब्द चंडान दिन जो है किसी सेवा का तीसरा शुद्धमसि बुद्धमसि मुक्तमसि निरंजनमसि, all you are perfect and complete. We aspire for this purity and perfection. तत्वमसि हम ब्रह्म जैसी संकल्प मोक्षी शक्ति, संकल्प करे साधना पुरुषार्थ अभ्यास, तब विवेक डिस्क्रिमिनेटिव पावर और डिटैचमेंट वैराग की प्राप्ति होती है। जब वो स्थिति आती तब हमारे शरीर के जो तामसिक इनेशिया नेगेटिविटीज है ये सब दूर होगी, और जो सूक्ष्म शरीर है हमारी जो इना शक्ति है उसको बढ़ती होती है, राजसिक स्थिति को कंट्रोल में आ जाता है और हमारी निष्काम कर्म की क्षमता बढ़ने लगती है। जब सात्विक स्थिति जब स्थित आती है तो फिर अंदर की जो हमारी आत्मा है उसका देखभाल होने लगेगा, फिर हमारा जो धुंधलापन है, मैला है, क्लेश है, ये सब दूर होने लगेगी। विद्यास्मिता राग द्वेष द्वेष मुक्ति का है, उल्टा जान लगाओ बदले की भावना सब समाप्त होगी। बात पीत का श्लेषपति बराबर जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुर्यता भार्गव चेतना की प्राप्ति है। शब्द वाणी हमारी संकल्प होती, ज्ञान अन्न जल अग्नि आकाश स्मृति आशा आत्मा परमात्मा की प्राप्ति, नेत्री भाव करुणा विदिता उपेक्षा की प्राप्ति, विशेषता प्रतिष्ठा विशेषता जो अटैचमेंट उससे निकल पाओगे। तो ये जो अन्न है कोश, मन है कोश, प्राण है कोश, विज्ञान में आनंद है कोश की जागृति, अहिंसा सत्यास्त्य ब्रह्मचर्य तिग्रा सब संतोष तपस्या शुद्ध ईश्वर निधान की प्राप्ति होती है। वो नियम की प्राणायाम प्रत्याहार आधार ज्ञान समाधि की रास्ता चित्त चित्त एकाग्रह की प्राप्ति वृत्ति विरोधा सर्विकल से सर्विचार सर्विस से निर्विल संप्रदाय से संप्रदाय से सर्विल से निर्विल सादृश्य सूरत के गल्ले की प्राप्ति धर्म ज्ञान समाधि धर्म अक्षण अवस्था की प्राप्ति संयम की प्राप्ति स्थिति की प्राप्ति अनिमा महिमा गरिमा महिमा महिमा प्राप्ति प्रकरण में इस्तेवा अभिस्तेवा प्राण स्वरूप परमात्मा प्राणों का प्राण दुख हटता सुख प्रदाता जगत के पालन काशवान की मात्र मंत्र चिकित्सा संस्कृत मंत्र वाइब्रेशन ओम सहनावतु सहना भुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम तक्षक पुरुषाच वशीमि शरदशतं जीवेमि शरदशतं श्रेयामि शरदशतं ब्रह्माम्ब शरदशतं दीनश्याम शरदशतं भूष्यं शरदशतं यज्जागृतं दूरं देवितं देवितिं दूरमं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिरीतं तन्मे मनांसि संकल्पमस्तु। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिवन्दनां मृत्युर्मुक्षमामृतात्। तेजोमसि तेजोमयं बलमसि बलमयम् ओजोमसि ओजोमयं वीर्यमसि वीर्यमयम् ओषहोमसि सहोमहि। Om Tanupagne Sitarvame Pai, Vichodagne Sivarchuni, Om Tanumatan Mamma Bhautuma, Om Antirasana Dina Shishkina, Om Tavemachita Tatama Vandishka, Vidyadavidam Tame Sarvam, Diva Diva. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Durtani Parashva Yad Bhadram Tanna Om Hiranyarbhasa Vartata Bhutas Jata Direkyashi Sada Dharipit Vindhyamutema Vishmai Devaya Havishapi Devi Umayat Padavalada Yasya Vishwapasa Putrasya Yasya Deva Yasya Chayamritam Yasya Mritte Vishmai Devaya Havishapi Devi Pranatilishatu Mahitvaika Jagyato Bhavya Yaishe Sidvipachaspatuspada Krishna Devaya Havishapi Pranatilishatu Mahitvaika Jagyato Bhavya Yaishe Sidvipachaspatuspada Krishna Devaya Havishapi Devi Prajapatimatvitanande Vishwajatani Pritapam Kamaste Juhumastanastava Shami Taro Rahina Sannovandra Janita Savidata Dhamani Vednani Yatra Deva Amritmanusha Shashiti Dhamanda Dehriya Umagni Ne Subitara Isman Vishwani Deva Nani Mudra Yadasma Jauran Meno Bhushanti Namakti Om Namo Shambhavaya cha Namo Bhavaya cha Namah Shankaraya cha Bhaskaraaya cha Namah Shivaya cha Shittaraya cha Om Shannomitra Chanvaruna Chandamari Devarima Namo Brahaspati Chandavishnu Rukrama Namo Brahmane Namastavaya Praticham Brahmadi Praticham Brahmadi Swami Ruktamadi Swami Satyamadi Swami Tadma Motu Tat Bhaktara Motu Otuma Motu Bhaktara Om Shannadevi Ravishya Api Motu Pite Shandora Visharantina ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो बृहद्देवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नष्टाशर्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति न बृहस्पतिर्दधातु नः ॐ सहना भवतु सहना भुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ दीनाततेनामुजिता ॐ यथा पिण्डे तथा ब्रह्माण्डे तथा ब्रह्माण्डे तथा पिण्डे ॐ कुर्मिनिवाहि कर्माणि जिजे विषेतां समायुक्ते ज्ञानिति अस्ति न कर्मणि प्रतिनो मस्तु मा सत्गमया तमसु मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्युमा अमृतं नमयां सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिरापा शान्तिरोषधय शान्तिमूर्ति शान्ति विश्वेदेव शान्ति ब्रह्म शान्ति सर्वगुण शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सर्व शान्तिरेति ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शांति जी परमात्मा श्री गुरु कृपा रखे दीपावली का मंगलकारी हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं आप सभी के लिए हाँ, ठीक है आप अपनी अंदर की दिया जलाइए जी अपने आप को सुधारिए अपने परिवार को सुधारिए अपनी जो हमारी सोसाइटी है express some compassion the lamp of goodness the light of goodness around yourself your families it's very important to share if you good quality if you we as Hindus have so many good qualities but we are not sharing it's very important be a good citizen contribute to the goodness of world if you have goodness it's too much evil is around. So the teachings apply to yourself initially. Okay, so traditionally, mm, hundreds of thousands years, Satyug, uh, Deepavali, lighting of lamp was expression of gratitude. It was Thanksgiving. This is autumn in India, starting in the harvests when they were brought home. And the biggest way of expressing gratitude was done through yajna, havan ceremonies. So the fest produce that were brought, they were put in the fire, like what we do today. A lot of people, we still do. When we have something new, we share it with others first. And yajna is a practice in which you is purified fire. You put it through, it not only cleanses the environment, but cleanses the entire community outside. And is a teaching of gratitude, being humble and expressing thanksgiving for the to the nature for giving a life. So that was the traditional practice Satyu. In Dwapar, Rama, Lord Ram returned from Sri Lanka after removing the evil of someone. Ravan was very educated, but education doesn't mean you are intelligent or you are good. He was learned. He knew all four Vedas and uh, all understanding of the astronomy, everything. But ego, pride, jealousy, hatred, and negative behavior was what was he was expressing. So today's world, when people express we are educated, we have these many degrees, it doesn't mean anything. If your nature is evil and what you are and the world is going through at the moment, as I say, the verge of nuclear war even now could happen. What is the use this education? So that Ram had to actually neutralize him so that the evil was gone and people lighted diya on his return. In Dwapar, which was the stage before this Kali Yuga, when Sri Krishna came to again enlighten people of the Mahabharata war, in which he taught Arjuna, no, even in families, when there is evil, you have to remove it. So the and also in especially South India, Deepavali is celebrated. Narakasur was one of those asuras who had held after post Mahabharata war more than 16,000 women in captivity. The Yadav clan. So Krishna had to again kill him to free these women. And the Bhai Dooj relationship is celebrated for that reason as well. Um, Unfortunately, our Bollywood in the last 70 years, prior to that was Mughal and British colonization, which destroyed so much of the significance of Hinduism. Bollywood has done a lot as well and put Krishna as some lover boy. No, it's all lies. It's a tainting, something which is very positive about um, Hindu religion, but it is because it brings out so much goodness and the prevailing thought of yokeness or this thought of removing uh, individuality of people or uniqueness as we are, everyone is unique, and lump them into some numbers for corporate world to play with you as a person who whole life just pays their mortgage or is in debt, or and at the other level just run amok, havoc around the whole world, is destroying these positive attributes of whatever culture and people who have this goodness. So you be aware of what is happening around you. Just don't blindly follow media and so you are unique. You've been given the brain, filter the information. So we're lucky in last, recent times, although the British Mughal destruction, Swami Dayanand came in reignited the truthful nature of Hinduism through which is the basis of Vedas, the Upanishads, the true Upanishad darshans and Gita. And we need to actually get back to that level of our scriptures. Don't be this so lazy. And times where we didn't have books and things because the same group of people, those cultures, didn't want this knowledge to be brought out. It's our responsibility. You can't keep blaming someone else. Now you have access. Nobody's controlling you. So get to learn, read the proper books of knowledge and share it with the humanity because this goodness needs to be shared. That's the message of Deepavali. Light your diya and light diya of knowledge and compassion and gratitude and abundance to everyone else around you and in this world. So please, come into Vedas, come read Upanishads, read Darshans, read, Gita, not all the stories which have been actually propagated so much that it's where you end up not actually really getting the meaning of what is there. We are educated and everybody is here educated to many degrees. So you can do it easily, you'll understand. But you can't be lazy and just not using your mental faculty to actually grow yourself. So it takes some responsibility. And Swami Dayanand, unfortunately, at the age of 59, died on this day of Deepavali in 1883, 30th of December. October was the Deepavali day there, or that Krishan Paksh Amavas night at 6 p.m. His life was cut short. 13 times they attempted it, survived, but the 14th time he passed away. And why? Because he stood for the truth. He left home to find moksha, the truth of living. But on the way, when he had acquired all the learnings, mm, he he met Swami Vijayanand, who actually said, no, no, your moksha is not only for yourself. You go out in the community and reignite Hindus. They turn from Tibet, all across India to Sri Lanka and back and forth, and not only started the revolution against British Swarajya, so we can get your independence, but educated people to get back to the real scriptures and understand the depth of living life, which, as I said, science is now validating. So it's our job. We are educated now. We are not living in Gilmit stage or Mughal invasion or British. We are free. What's the excuse? I know because, as I said, the programming actually of earlier part of our life makes us lazy and doesn't help us actually get out of it. But we need to, for the benefit of humanity, for your own survival and good health and wisdom and health uh, and success. We need to because the science is backing up as well now. So, Swami Dayanand, when pastor lighting Diya is actually trying to actually spread his knowledge of this group of people. No, he was very clear. There's no religion or anything about it. It's actually just getting back to true Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma. So that's all he taught. And we need to first be ourselves well read as to what he stood for. He changed social structures which had brought in at that time, unfortunately. He brought in school system for women, equality in the society, and above and beyond all that, um, this knowledge that was almost the invaders had almost removed it on the face of earth by burning our first universities of world in India, Takshila and Nalanda. 8, 9 months of continuous burning of the scriptures. So if not for someone like Swami Dayanand, it would be very difficult today to even actually have possession of this knowledge. And science is now validating most of these things as well, which is what we talked about. So, and there are other reasons for celebrating Diwali as well, like Buddha got enlightenment, Siddhartha into Gautam Buddha returned home to his people, Mahavir, Jainism, the saint passed away like Swami Dayananda. So it's, his teachings are taught, and Guru Gobind Singh returned from the captivity by the Jangir home, and Golden Temple was dead. So many reasons are associated, but the paramount reason is the significance of Diya, the light, the lamp inside us gives us the hope of life, humanity, creation, and at a specific level to our body, the science that is there now of epigenetics. So it's all about environment, external and internal. So what we eat, what type of company we have, has a direct impact on our antennas of body and impact on mental status, which pass electrical impulses to our nerves into our cells. And the cells receive this and function at the level of capacity, either be it in survival mode or creativity. If it's survival mode, there's no creation, so your body is degenerating. You're getting diseases. But if it's positive attributes, so either in eating or in company being joyful, happy, or expressing gratitude, then the cells are creative. Then they express all these positive neuropeptides, chemical mediators, all these good feeling hormones, and your body will actually uh, function physiologically much better. So you avoid illness and diseases, and you get strength of utilization of your neurons in much better way, because the body's functional capacity is much better. So this is the deeper meaning of lighting a diya, lighting a lamp. So I actually share this whole this knowledge because the doctor, I have the advantage of understanding the science that is going on, and because I read our scriptures and all other scriptures as well, so I can combine them and show why it is essential for us as individuals to incorporate these majestic, celebrations that we have, and apart from the social and religious connotation, but the deep spiritual meanings that are there to make yourself better and achieve that ultimate goal of what human beings are, as opposed to all other species, which is to acquire knowledge of the creation itself. The big question: who am I? Why am I here? What is out there? And and that comes from silence. That comes from intuition. That comes from uh, uh, getting your right side of brain activated. You living in what's called quantum energy field rather than on matter. Okay, so all the best. Deeper one, be good, become good, share goodness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.